So one of the questions we get from members relatively often is, how do I use Club 20? And that's what we're here for. We are here to make sure that your voice is elevated on issues at the state and federal level. And we want our members to actively engage with us so that we can accurately represent the voice of our constituent, which is our membership. So Club 20 does issue-based advocacy. We work on legislation, we work on regulations, we weigh in on ballot measures, you name it. As long as it's consistent with the resolution we have on the books, we will engage. We have an expansive network of leaders. So if you're looking to build out your professional network, if you're interested in running for political office, there's somebody here at Club 20 who can give you some advice, some counsel, and help make those right connections. All you have to do is attend the events, or what happens all the time is somebody will call me and say, hey, do you know somebody in this field? And I'll say, oh yeah, I do, let me connect you. And that happens a lot. I am the connector of people amongst our members, and I'm happy to serve in that capacity. We are also more than happy to write letters of support for positions, and that doesn't have to be just a position on a piece of legislation. You know, as Michelle had noted, we recently submitted a letter on the redistricting process, which we hope was impactful to the Redistricting Commission. But we also write letters of support for members trying to get on boards or commissions at the state level, trying to serve on organizations like the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Commission. So if you're ever interested in serving in that capacity, please don't hesitate to reach out to us for a letter of support. We'd be happy to help you. It's always our goal to get thoughtful leaders in key positions. And so we're glad to support Club 20 members applying for those key roles at our state and local levels. We also are more than happy to travel throughout the region and even outside of the region. Michelle, if you ever would like us to talk about Club 20. We love presenting at Rotary clubs and Lions clubs and chambers of commerce, you name it. We just love spreading the message and the good work of our organization. So if you ever have an opportunity that you would like for us to come visit, even in a smaller capacity, even if it's just coffee with a couple of community leaders who you think need to get engaged and involved, we'd love to come for a visit. One of the best ways for new Club 20 members to get enveloped in our organization is to attend events. And this is truly where all the networking happens. And we are doing in-person events again, which is extremely exciting. So we just wrapped up our spring conference a couple months ago at this point, and now we're actually looking toward our summer policy meetings where our 10 policy committees will actually be meeting in person to discuss issues impacting their specific issue area. The first week of those meetings will be held in Montrose, and the second week will be held up in Craig. So we hope that you can join us for those. A calendar of those meetings can be found on the Club 20 website, and I'll show you where that's at here in just a moment. When we asked our members a couple of years ago what the most valuable thing that they receive is for their membership, one of the things that they mentioned was all of the educational opportunities that Club 20 provides, whether it's our virtual town halls, our annual events, or our policy committee meetings. Club 20 provides a broad swath of information tailored to any topic that you might be interested in. And we also provide those opportunities to influence key decision makers, which will hopefully benefit our members when it comes to actually seeing actionable outcomes. So I've mentioned our events a few times. We have our Voices of Rural Colorado joint visit with Action 22 and Pro 15. That happens in Denver in January, typically when we're not in a pandemic. And we usually have around 160 members from all three organizations that join us for that meeting. It's a really incredible event, and it really elevates the voice of rural Colorado. As I mentioned, our policy committees, those meet twice a year, once in the winter, typically in Grand Junction, and then once in the summer, usually out in the region. We have our spring conference and awards banquet that's held in Grand Junction, and we just wrapped that one up just a couple weeks ago. We have our Washington, D.C. fly-in every other year, and this year we're hosting it virtually. We're actually hosting that next week virtually, but typically we fly out to Washington, D.C., and we meet with key decision makers and leaders at the federal level, and we build in a little extra time for fun as well. Since the pandemic started, we started something new called our member exclusive virtual town halls. These are an opportunity to engage with leaders, with elected officials, key decision makers on a one-on-one basis for about an hour directly with our Club 20 members. And they've really added a lot of value to the Club 20 membership. We also have our fall conference and steak fry, which is a cannot miss event. It's so much fun. We typically have somewhere between 200 and 300 people who attend our steak fry every single year. And it's outdoors. It's a really fun way to network with people in a really fun and social setting. And then of course we have a variety of speakers who come in and speak the following day. And during election years, we host the largest candidate debates in Western Colorado. Last year, we actually live streamed our debates, and those were viewed by more people than we could have ever imagined. So we expect to do a hybrid model of that this next election cycle. And then last but certainly not least, I mentioned some of this earlier, but our county caucuses happen every year where we elect our board of directors.